What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Don't forget my podcast is pre-recorded to be uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, BitChute, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter, which I'll stream it live. And I take the audio version and I upload it to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. And in the mornings, I go live on my TikTok just for the sports-related topics and whatnot. But I don't go live for like reacts because they can't see the video I'm reacting live on TikTok because I stream on StreamYard. Before I get into last night's game and the Heat advancing, first things first, I want to say rest in peace to Filthy Rich, member of the bomb shelters, passed away. I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. From what I've seen, I think he was murdered. Otherwise known as Carlos Brown. I only known him for a short period of time, but for the short period of time I known him, I felt like I've known him for a long time. I felt like I really knew the guy. I actually interviewed Bomb Shelters recently, and just for those that don't know, Bomb Shelters is the guys that J. Cole gives credit to as being his mentors. They taught him really how to record music and make beats at a young age before he later moved to New York when he went to college and whatnot. But so rest in peace to Filthy Rich. For Fayetteville, my city, it's definitely a blow to the city. They're actually considered underground legends, I would say, or Fayetteville legends. I personally think that they put out the best album I've ever heard from a Fayetteville artist in my lifetime, and that includes my music as well. And anybody else that I've listened to the album, I just felt like Bomb Shelter, they were the only people in Fayetteville that I felt like made an album that sounded like it should have been in the mainstream at that given time, at that point, and to be honest with you, if we're going off of source, 4 mics, 5 mic standards, I would have gave it no less than 4.5 mics. No less than 4.5 mics, and maybe 5 mics. Like, I thought it was a very well put together album. And it's definitely this is gonna have an impact on Fayetteville, and I know it's gonna have an impact on Bomb Shelter going forward, the brand and whatnot. But I plan to reach out to Nervous Wreck, see how he's doing as well. Give him a few days and whatnot. But so rest in peace to Filthy Rich, and or as he told me, my friends call me Los. So rest in peace to Los. Only knew him for a short period of time, but feel like I really knew the guy. I really understood him and whatnot. And it's crazy because it's not like this. I thought like this weekend couldn't get more depressing. We've literally had rain all weekend in Fayetteville. We've had no sunshine. It's just been like a depressing weekend. It just, that's the thing. Me and a friend were talking about the psychology behind like sunshine. When it's sunshine out, you're just happier and happy-go-lucky moods. The mood is different when it's dark and raining and cloudy. For days straight. It's just depressing. It really is. Doesn't make you really feel like doing much, but just when you thought it couldn't get more depressing, it can. All right, let me get into this. I didn't watch the whole game, but if you watch the highlights and check out the box score, you can pretty much give an understanding of what's going on or what happened or what went wrong. But when I last looked, Boston was losing. I didn't expect them to win this game just because they were losing. I said to myself, this would be very pathetic and very depressing. More depression. Very depressing and pathetic if Boston loses this game. Only to come back down three. They're down 3-0. Only to come back, win 3 straight games, just to lose at home. Jimmy Butler gave you 28 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals on only 1 turnover. Caleb Martin, who my Charlotte Hornets apparently should have kept, gave you 26 points, 10 rebounds on 1 turnover. So he had a double-double. Bam Adebayo gave you 12 and 10 and 7 assists. He almost had a triple-double. Gabe Vincent gave you 10, and Duncan Robinson gave you 10. And Duncan Robinson has been hitting his shots in the playoffs. He was 4 for 6, 66% shooting on field goals, and 2 for 3 on threes, 66% shooting on threes. This is where it gets really depressing. Jason Tatum, the superstar Jason Tatum was 5 for 13. 14 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, that's okay if you're the 3rd or 4th scorer on the team. But Jason Tatum got outscored by Derek White, who scored 18. Jaylen Brown, who scored 19 with 8 rebounds. Of course, Jaylen Brown was 8 for 23, 30% shooting, 34%, 1 for 9 on threes, 11%. Like, once you get to the point where you're 1 for 4, 1 for 5, stop shooting threes. Because where's Jason Tatum? 1 for 4, 25%. What did he do? Stop shooting threes, apparently. Al Horford was 2 for 5. That's 40%. Not bad. Derek White was 2 for 9. Stop shooting threes. Marcus Smart, 1 for 6. Stop shooting threes. Once you're like 1 for 3 and 1 for 4, stop. I mean, I think Bob Costas was saying, bringing this up about why the NBA is just really, the product is not as good no more. Because American players are only concerned with just shooting threes. That's all they're concerned with. Just working on a 3-point game. Why do you think international players are taking over? I mean, who is the top 3 MVP in the MVP race this year? Serbian, Jokic. Greek, born African, Giannis. But you can't go over in Greek and call yourself a African Greek. They don't play that shit. You're just, once you move to Greece, you're a Greek. Joel Embiid from Cambodia, Africa. Why is that? Because international players actually work on their skill sets across the board. They work on their footwork. They work on their handles. They work on their mid-range. They post game. They work on everything. I mean, just think about it. Giannis has no 3-point shooting, no jumper hardly. Will we take Jason Tatum over Giannis? No way, no how. Not in a trillion years would I take Jason Tatum over Giannis. He doesn't got the it factor that Giannis has, that punch you in the mouth factor, you know. He's too nice. You know, this is how I realized how you could tell if NBA players have the dog in them. They really got the dog in them. Go and look at their team picture. If they're smiling, like Jason Tatum, he's like, you ain't got the dog in you. But if you're like Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart, actually, I don't know. I think Jaylen Brown might be smiling in his picture too. Yeah, he got a little smile, but like And he's got somewhat of the dog in him, but not like Marcus Smart does. When you go look at Marcus Smart's picture, it's literally, oh, he is smiling. My bad. It was Jimmy Butler. That's who it was. Yeah. Jimmy Butler is like, and what did Jimmy Butler guarantee? A win. When Jimmy Butler guarantees a win, you normally get a win. Wow. Jimmy Butler has carried the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals appearances with really the first time he had 0 All-Stars. I guess you could count Bam Adebayo as somewhat of an all-star. I don't know if he was an all-star then. He might have been. But Bam Adebayo might be like a one-time all-star. Let me see. Bam Adebayo all-star. All-star. Let's see. Is he a? Let's see. So he's a one-time all-star. I think he just became an all-star this year. Yeah, I think he just became an all-star this year. So, you know, Jimmy Butler, a bunch of undrafted players, Bam Adebayo, a hurt Tyler Hero, a hurt Victor Oladipo, carries his team to the championship once again. And people that were saying it was the bubble, it was just the bubble. Well, Jimmy Butler produced. Jimmy Butler proved that he's not Jimmy Bubble Butler. I tell you that much. And somebody was debating, is Jimmy Butler a Hall of Famer? Should he go into the Hall of Fame? I have to say yes. I have to say yes. I have to say a guy who leads his team to 2 championship, two NBA Finals appearances without having a really a legitimate second superstar and a bunch of undrafted players. It's amazing. 76ers fans should be kicking themselves in the asses right now. They should be firing everybody that was there that had anything to do with Jimmy Butler not staying. T-Wolves should be kicking themselves. Fans should be kicking themselves in the ass. Like, what does it say about your culture when you get rid of Jimmy Butler? You know what it says? You don't want to win. You're losing culture. You're losing culture. I don't care what the Sixers do. Sixers can get Nick Nurse all they want. Sixers ain't winning no championship next year. Especially they bring back James Harden. Unless they get in Damian Lillard or somebody like that to replace him, it ain't happening, man. Sixers, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance one bit. I don't care who they get. And Boston, what moves should Boston make? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know that Boston can afford to pay Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum $500 million. You can't. You can't. And if you do it, all you're saying is we just want to be good enough to make the playoffs and look competitive. We don't really want to compete for a title. They're gonna have to make some adjustments. I think it's time to move off from Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown, I mean, I'm almost thinking you got to put him on the market, see what you get for him. I don't think you can afford to pay Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum $500 million. I don't think you could do it. And Jaylen Brown, I mean, there's a lot of teams that would love a Jaylen Brown. I'm almost thinking you got to try to trade him to the to Portland for maybe the 3rd pick, or trade him to the Heat for like Tyler Hero and some picks and pieces, like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and whoever else, because I think the contracts will match up. Jaylen Brown and Jimmy Butler would make a great pairing. There's a lot of teams, man, that like the Suns. Can you trade DeAndre Ayton and some pieces for Jaylen Brown? I don't know. Probably not. I know Jaylen Brown's going to want to probably go to a contender. Maybe you do a trade with John Collins and John Collins and a couple pieces from the Hawks in the pick for Jaylen Brown. Maybe it's John Collins and maybe DeAndre Hunter for Jaylen Brown and another player like Grant Williams or something like that. I don't know. The Sixers, maybe you do a sign and trade. Or actually, I mean, maybe you trade Tobias Harris and somebody and some pieces. I don't know. The Kings, maybe you trade Harrison Barnes and Malik Monk and some picks. I don't know, man. That doesn't even sound like enough. Not a lot of teams are going to have a lot to give for Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown isn't going to go easy. Would the Celtics retool? Trade Jaylen Brown for the number 3 pick? I don't know. All I know is the team they got isn't enough. We know the Bucks are going to make some moves. Knicks are going to try to get better. Cleveland might get better if they just get more experience in their belt. Heat culture is heat culture. And then you still got to think about, okay, even if I get to the finals, do I got enough to beat the Nuggets? Because I can tell you right now, the Western Conference, every team in the Western Conference is going to at least need a big man on the bench to bring off the bench to try to go up against Jokic. Any team that tries to like small ball against Denver, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Because Jokic, it doesn't like going small ball doesn't affect him because he's a point center. He gets the rebound and takes the ball in the break and takes it all the way up and either dishes it or shoots the 3 or can like literally drive all the way to the basket and kick out for a 3 or lay it up. Or when a guy's a point center, small ball has no effect. And everybody in the West is going to have to try to get better to compete with the Nuggets. The Nuggets is not going nowhere. If they win it this year, man, I would argue the Nuggets will probably be the best team in the regular season next year. Number 1 seed, their confidence is going to be through the roof. Through the roof. And while you're at it, Google that name you see above me, Paul Pickett Podcast. Follow me everywhere. Yeah, the Heat. The Celtics, they got some decisions to make. I just honestly don't think you can pay both of these guys $500 million. And this is what it's going to lead to. It was the best chance to win it last year. Even if the Celtics got up against the Nuggets this year, I don't think they had a chance of hell beating the Nuggets. I don't think they have a chance. I don't know that anybody. I mean, like, I love the Heat. Heat culture is raw. And Jimmy Butler is probably going to be good for at least one game in this NBA Finals. But I don't know. This could be a sweep, man. The Nuggets just look like they're hitting on all cylinders. They have everything you need. Point guard position, good to go. Two guard position, good to go. Small forward, good to go. Power forward, good to go. Center, good to go. I mean, there's no weakness on their starting five. And then you got Bruce Brown coming off the bench, who could probably play two guard, point guard, or small forward. Because now you got these small ball lineups nowadays in the NBA. You got this positionless basketball. Yeah, Celtics, they're going to have some big decisions to make, man. Because even if you get good enough to come out the East, you still got to be good enough to beat the Nuggets. And Jokic is in his prime. He's unstoppable. It seemed like the only way you can stop Jokic is get him in foul trouble. And nobody seems to get him in foul trouble. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, there's no big NFL news I didn't see. Oh, yeah, NBA news too. Nick Nurse going to the Sixers. That's the only big news besides Heat advancing. I don't think Nick Nurse is going to make a difference. I don't think they got enough. Tobias Harris is not playing up to his contract. James Harden folds like a chair in the playoffs. And Joel Embiid is just, he's not Jokic. He's not a Jokic. He's just, I'm sorry, he's not a Jokic. And I'm sorry, person trying to go live on my TikTok. I am pre-recording. I cannot interact with you on my TikTok while I'm pre-recording. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out. And also, once again, rest in peace to Filthy Rich. 1.5 for the bomb shelters. Definitely a depressing day. Doesn't look like any sunshine is coming out. Looks like it's going to rain. And not to mention, 50 people got shot in Chicago over the Memorial Day weekend before Memorial Day even hit. So definitely, like, shit's getting crazy, man. Shit's getting crazy. So rest in peace, Los. And I'm out.